I've never auditioned in my life. I've never met a casting director in my life. I've never ever had tea or coffee with a director just to shoot the breeze and network in my life.
For me, I think I didn't understand loneliness for a very long time. So I've always been alone. I've had to do things alone a lot. And I was very aware of that. So I used to think that I'm alone. And I sometimes used to want that I would love support.
There have been many barren years in the Indian film industry where the writing was not supposed to be important and multi-starrers could take you through. If it's not written well, barring the superlative charisma of 2 or 3 people in the industry, it can't happen. Nobody's going to accept it. I don't want to even get into the nepotism story because it's utter nonsense. If you look at the biggest stars in our history, you will realize that it's a bit of this and a bit of that. There's some very, very untalented people who are massively charismatic.
Yes.
So you just want to watch them.
जितना भी सोशल इंसान मैं हूँ, सोशल मीडिया वाला इंसान बनने के लिए समय लग रहा है और एफर्ट करनी पड़ती है. More than that, I never thought it's a part of the KRAs for me as an actor.
Hi guys, welcome to The Quint.
Hi.
You know, I was reading Atul's interview and he had mentioned in that it was not so much about the audition, but it was more about how the actors reacted to my narration.
Wow.
You know, do you guys remember how you all reacted that you all bagged these roles?
I have picture perfect memories of the narration I had with him. And I think the reaction was that I've never read or seen or heard or pictured a word like that before. And what made it even better was that ये कोई किसी फिल्म की adaptation नहीं है, ये कोई real life story नहीं है, ये सारे की सारी चीजें और इसको एक साथ जोड़ना किसी के दिमाग से निकली है. Who is this person and how are you wired?
I read the script. He didn't narrate it to me.
Okay.
And I saw it. And I said, this will be made on the editing table. All thrillers are.
Yeah.
But this particular one, I said, we'll have to see it because he'll have to really, that will be a very important part of this movie.
Yeah.
It's not just plot driven.
Right.
It's atmosphere driven.
It is, yeah, and he does it beautifully.
I didn't read the script, didn't get it. I've been just very fond of Atul sir. And I had this inherent trust in him, I guess. When I first was called for an audition, at that time, unfortunately, that day he was not available. And some other person was taking it. And he just gave me a very bizarre a brief about the character, about the scene. And that was an important scene per se. And I performed it the way I understood it from him. Something I think made Atul sir call me again. And that day he was present. And the narration of the script that I had got from the other person was absolutely opposite to what this thing was. I don't know if I should admit this. मुझे last तक समझ में नहीं आया था कि मैं agent हूँ कि मैं agent नहीं हूँ. Because every time I asked Atul sir also कि okay, am I the Pakistani agent or am I from here or am I just a part of the nexus or a power broker?
Yeah.
I couldn't understand.
There's this dialogue Ishfaq kind of tells you when you say it out loud. It says, do you ever feel lonely? Okay, this is slightly deep because when he says that, I stopped. And I'm thinking we live in such an hyper-connected world, and we have people around us. You're celebrities, you're famous, you'll have more people than I would ever have. Did you guys take a moment, pause and think about that question?
Yeah, it has got nothing to do with what you do.
Yeah.
That do you ever feel lonely?
Yeah.
Touchwood, अभी तक मेरी जिंदगी में कम ऐसे चीजें आई हैं जहाँ पे मुझे इतना, सिकुड़ना पड़े life में. A, stay connected with my family and friends a lot. And B, I have my own ways and processes of just in case I'm right now किसी चीज को लेकर stressed है.
I'm alone, but I'm never lonely.
Yeah.
I also like myself. So I can spend a lot of time alone. It's not a boast. I just don't, I'm never lonely.
But that's great.
And you need 4 or 5 people who will give you unconditional love in life. Not more than that.
Yeah.
That's enough.
4-5 भी ज़्यादा है बल्कि.
Quality में 2 भी मिल जाए, it's more than enough.
हाँ, बिल्कुल सही बात है. And जो सर ने बोला, I also resonate with it. I like myself. I'm not obsessed with it. I mean, in a good way.
Yeah.
We like
you're
ourselves.
comfortable being by yourself.
For me, I think I didn't understand loneliness for a very long time. So I've always been alone. I've had to do things alone a lot. And I was very aware of that. So I used to think that I'm alone. And I sometimes used to want that I would love support, know. In between, I was obsessed with the idea that I want some support in life. And I had a lot of people that were very, very close to me. I remember someone outside, an astrologer, told me that you're very lonely in life. And I was like, no, I have these very close friends and they know everything about me. I talk. I am very expressive with whatever I'm feeling, at least to those 3-4 people. It took me 1 or 2 years down the line to realize that yes, I was lonely while I had so much company and very intimate relationships. And it has taken me 3-4 years down after that realization to really get to the root of that loneliness, to unlock things, to really become less of a survivor or a firefighter and just calm and ease down.
I resonate with you completely.
Because I think loneliness has a lot about feeling alone
Yeah.
and unsupported and feeling that you have to do everything on your own and
Yeah.
you have so much to do,
That
especially for
pressure
women.
comes from ourselves.
And
We
I
are putting
think-
that pressure.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very woman-oriented thing,
Oh.
especially if you're a woman who's strong, so-calledly, and vulnerable at the same time.
You've recently completed, 31 years in the industry, right? If you had to start off today, as opposed to when you started your career, how do you think things would have been different for you?
I would just lie down and say, no, I can't do this. Not today. See, the thing is, and this is the truth, this is not a boast,
Yeah.
and this is not a plea for help. This is the truth. I never had to struggle.
Yeah.
I finished my college dramatic career. I was on the Bombay stage. In my fourth play, the casting director of English August the director cast me as the lead in English August.
Yeah.
English August gave me Bombay Boys, gave me Split Wide Open, gave me Takshak. Everybody says I'm fine. Mr. and Mrs. Iyer, Jhankar Beats, Chameli,
All those
going.
Wow.
movies.
Right?
Yeah.
I've never auditioned in my life. I've never met a casting director in my life.
What?
Whoa.
Never.
That is really
Such a
something.
lucky man.
I've never ever had
Photography.
tea or coffee with a director just to shoot the breeze and network in my life.
Yeah, you're right then. You won't be able to do it. in this-
Impossible. Today, where just to meet the casting director requires 3 people. Yeah, apart, please tell me, if Rima can tell me, and then Shivani, and then the casting. Impossible. I would not make it. I would not even want to try. It would be just too exhausting and humiliating. No, not going to do that. I don't mind. I'll do a one-man act on the street. Nukkad pe, I'll act. No problem.
यार एक बात तो नहीं लोगों को जाननी जरूरी है कि आपको कलाकार बनना है, एक्टर बनना है कि आपको फेमस बनना है.
Came on stage and I was 6 years old. I remember one thing very clearly. I'm home.
Wow, at that age. Huh?
I can't do anything better. Nothing comes easier. And look at the effect I'm having on people.
वाह.
My maths teacher who used to throw me out of class was crying and gave me a chocobar at the end.
Sweet.
So I said, I'm home. These 3 things happening together are very rare in human existence. Love something, to be good at it,
To be able
and
appreciate.
to be able to earn from it. So the gratitude that I have to the universe, and I'm sure both of us, all 3 of us
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to the universe, is infinite. But I couldn't do it if I was 22 today
Yeah.
or 23. I couldn't do
Tough
it.
one.
Again, looking back at the last 31 years, when you see the changes that the industry has gone through, what are some of the things that strike you as good changes? And what are some of the things you think the industry could perhaps do better?
The focus on writing has really, really, really increased
Touch wood.
from the time of English August to now. There have been many
Yes.
barren years in the Indian film industry where the writing was not supposed to be important and multi-starrers could take you through. If it's not written well, barring the superlative charisma of 2 or 3 people in the industry, it can't happen.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to accept it. And even that's also a caveat. So that's the good thing that's happened. Honestly, I can't see anything bad that's happened. I don't want to even get into the nepotism story because it's utter nonsense.
Yeah.
If you look at the biggest stars in our history, you will realize that it's a bit of this and a bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
If you look at the greatest people in journalism, it's a bit of this, it's a bit of that.
Yes.
The greatest people
Lawyers?
in science, in mathematics, in law,
Any field.
you'll find it's a bit of this, it's a bit of that.
Yeah.
The newcomer as well as the established insider. So that's fine.
And it will always be like that globally in any era.
That is the
Simple.
way of the world. If there is at all anything that I would say today, I would seriously, seriously love to change, it is the obsession with the outside, with social media. It always existed, except we didn't know about it. When you whispered to Apar, I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Today, I know about it. And I keep saying, if I'd known there were so many people who hate me, I wouldn't get out of bed. It takes away everything from you. So I wish we keep that in place and understand, as he was saying, stillness will breed depth, thought, and in its own way, something excellent will come out of it. There are 5 people whose opinions we really care about. Chalo, 20 people.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
The rest of it is just noise.
Yeah.
Some of it is pleasant, some of it is unpleasant. But you have to build a certain love for yourself that nobody should shake. That's the only thing that I would love to just
Absolutely.
tell everybody to just calm down.
Way back then, we used to hear when people had box office success, they were treated differently. But today, I would like to think talent is also being appreciated, and it's not just that part of stardom that is being appreciated on sets. Would you guys agree that talent is getting the recognition that it needs today?
12th fail,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Biggest example of the
3-2.
Yeah.
touch wood.
I mean, there are history is littered with it. But having said that, across history, I challenge you to name me one really good film that hasn't been recognized. Maybe not to the extent that you wanted it to be,
Yeah.
you know. But I honestly, it finds and it will slowly settle. Or then 10 years later, people are still talking about Jaane Bhi Do Yaro
Yeah.
or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You know, so it's that.
अच्छा काम, अच्छा इंसान, कुछ भी जो अच्छा है, it will remain forever. वो नजर आएगा, पता चलेगा, आज नहीं तो कल पता चलेगा.
And that is the definition of legacy. It's not a function of excellence.
Yeah.
It's a function of what was true, and what held substance, and didn't try to be this or that.
Do you think talent, success, and fame are correlated?
Absolutely not. There's some very, very untalented people who are massively charismatic.
Yes.
So you just want to watch them,
Yes.
no matter what they play. Tom Cruise, you just want to watch him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not talented, but his charisma
Wins over.
overrides everything else.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's talent, and in terms of success. Fame is something else. You could be extremely famous for something that is appalling. You could be the most famous serial killer in history, or the greatest genocidal German dictator from the 1940s ever, right? What attracts people to somebody today, in today's world, you might 20 years later say, what was she famous for?
Yeah, absolutely.
What the hell
we
did she
all
do?
are going to say that.
एक आपका ऑन स्क्रीन या एज अ क्राफ्ट जो टैलेंट की हम बात करें वो एक टैलेंट है बट इसमें और भी अलग तरह के टैलेंट की जरूरत है टुडे बीइंग एन एक्टर हाउ टू
Right.
प्रमोट योरसेल्फ हाउ टू कनेक्ट
man,
विद
yeah.
पीपल हाउ टू बी एक्सेप्टिंग ऑफ people today. Think
Yes.
about Amitabh Bachchan,
Yeah.
for example, Mr. Bachchan, right? A lot of his time actors have not been as much relevant in our today's time, but he upgraded himself and kept changing, kept evolving, kept up with the times, and he is still Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, and that's not just because of luck or unki destiny, yeah, he was always Big B. He's also made himself relevant to each of the changing times and kept up and added and, subscribed to it and contributed to the changing times.
Right.
So वो एक अपने में टैलेंट है जो सब में नहीं होता. I feel आज एक एक्टर होने के लिए आपको सोशल मीडिया को यूज करना, उसको एक्सेप्ट करना. मेरे को तो एक्सेप्ट करने में ही सोशल मीडिया को बड़ी मुश्किल होती है अभी भी. तो उसको यूज करना तो बहुत ही अलग बात है.
It's not something which comes naturally to me.
It doesn't.
जितना भी सोशल इंसान मैं हूँ, सोशल मीडिया वाला इंसान बनने के लिए समय लग रहा है और एफर्ट करनी पड़ती है. मोर देन दैट, I never thought it's a part of the KRAs for me as an actor. I never thought that, but it now has become. तो इसलिए अगर ये काम है तो मैं उसको करना चाहूँगा.
And thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you, Swati.
Good luck for this. I'm sure it's going to get all the love.
Always your conversations
Thank
are to the point and touch wood. I'm very happy you like the film.
Thank you. I love it.